Cool. Okay, so I guess I'll get started. So my name's Jen Robertson, and I've been doing business of some sort since like I was in college. I did a 1 million cups presentation yesterday, and I like read off a list of all the things that I had done, and it was like bizarre. And then I picked one thing that like was feasible that I could have done, and I stuck it in the list, and I asked people to like to guess which one wasn't actually true, and nobody got it right. Um, and so basically I've been doing something for 20 years, but nothing's ever really caught off the ground. I've done a lot of portrait photography, and I've gotten a lot of skills in like copywriting, building funnels, selling stuff. And 2 years ago, my husband got pushed out of his job. He was a call center supervisor, and it was a bridge too far. And so he got pushed out, and we decided to go full time with a portrait studio. And so we've been doing that for the past 2 years. And in the process of building a portrait studio, we realized that not only did we saw the difference in our family, and we saw what it was like to have him home with us, and like how big of a deal that was. And for us to be working on something together was just really powerful. So we knew we wanted that for our kids. My husband also he really got into writing, which is his English teachers would think that that's like absolutely the most hilarious thing. But last Christmas, he actually sat down, and in a week he wrote the manuscript for a children's book. It's a fantasy children's book that is the whole series is going to be teaching kids entrepreneurship and life skills, and like those fundamental character things that you need, like from a broad level. Like if you don't have a product that's validated, do not pass go, do not collect $200. This is like critical. And so we just got our book back in the mail yesterday, and we finally got it. It's great because it's like a fantasy series. So it's on a different planet where magic is. And we have a really beautiful Maine Coon cat. She's absolutely gorgeous, and she has a real like diva personality. So like she's fancy enough that we just decided to write a book series about her. So our cat is the star of this book. And so we've been working for the past 9 months to bring it to completion. I hired an artist off Instagram, and she did the most amazing watercolors and ink drawings for the books. So it's very like, there's the Charlotte Mason-y people who are like, oh, we like this because it's beautiful and good literature and stuff like that. And then there's the entrepreneurs that are like, we like it because it inspired, like all the kids are they've always been homeschooled because that's just how their family exists. And it's a story of like a multi-generational family. So the grandpa owned a store, the dad owned a store. And then what the kids don't know is that before the grandpa and the dad owned the store, they went out in this wagon with the cat for 3 years. And so the cat like took them out, and they learned business skills and stuff like that. And so all of the adults know that when Sinclair turns 15 tomorrow, the cat is going to take him out in the wagon, and this is how it's supposed to be. The mom is a little bit like nervous, and she's like, I don't know if he's ready to be by himself. And so the cat's like, okay, I'll just take everybody. So she takes all 4 kids in this wagon. Wow. So with any middle grade chapter book, like you have to get the kids away from the parents. because otherwise it just doesn't like function, and kids don't want to read about supervised children, basically. So like they don't. So the parents are not directly involved in most of the book, but their wisdom is laced all through the book. And they're very aware of the situation. They knew what was going on. The dads are totally cool. They're like, you know, we went out with the cat. She's fine. They'll be fine. Mom's a little bit more iffy about that, but basically they have to figure it out themselves. And the cat makes sure they don't starve. So when I wanted to be really big about having characters that were flawed instead of like you're perfect. Like a lot of times kids can be super idealized, and like, no, these kids make like real mistakes. And because the best way that you learn is by learning the consequences of someone else's mistake. And if I can make the kids, my readers identify with the characters and then go, ooh, that didn't turn well, they can semi-learn through experience without actually doing it themselves. So one of the most like rewarding things was we were reading the story to our kids, and our oldest child, who the oldest character is patterned after, he was listening, and like the character was like, they're like, do you know how to build how to dig fence posts? And the kid's like, of course I know how to dig fence posts. How hard can that be? And my son goes, oh, this is not going to go well. He's like, this is totally not going to go well, because the guy was just completely like disregarding help, disregarding training, disregarding learning. Like, yeah, this is bad. And it was so funny because we literally modeled that character after our oldest son, and he could see it. So it was a really cool thing. We're really excited to get the books in hand, because it's been a long process. So now we're in the process of like finding influencers, finding affiliate marketers, all of those things to do. So,
Jennifer, my daughter-in-law does lots of book reviews, and she reads tons of stuff. She is working on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook.
oh, cool.
So
Do you
if
know
we
her
can hook up
handle?
and get her, I don't off the top of my head,
Okay.
but I will get that to you. I'll DM you or something
Oh,
through
sure,
the group
sure.
or something and let you know. But yeah, that's one of the things she does. And she reads like all kinds of genres, and she works in the library.
Nice.
So being able and young adult and young middle school kind of kids reading, she does a lot of that too. So I'm sure she'd love to be able to do a review for you.
That'd be
and get
awesome.
that put out there. Yeah, super. Okay. I'm sorry, making a note.
This is what it's for. This is
Yes.
what we're here for. Yeah.
Okay, Hannah, you can get a chair and come sit.
Okay, so Jennifer, I met you several months ago over the summer, or before the summer, I think, actually, like back in May or June sometime.
Yeah.
Or maybe even April or something like that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And you had just started crowdfunding to get the book going and everything like that. And so now you're at a different, process with in your book. What are your next steps? In other words, so are you physically selling the book? Or are you just trying to get like some, interest, and, how is that working?
So at this point, like, we did a Kickstarter to get the initial funding to like actually pay to finish the book and like buy for stuff. So we've, up until now, everything has been about getting something finished that I can hold and sell. So now I'm at the point where I can order a box of books and ship it out. I have a ClickFunnels set up right now for my website, and I can make sales on that. One of the benefits of buying it through Kickstarter was that you get access to the book before everybody else. And so once we get these shipped out, then we can release it on Amazon, because it'll be, once we like take care of our Kickstarter backers, then we can make it publicly available. The problem with Amazon is they wait 60 days to pay you. and they take a nice chunk. So it's good because they have a lot of like, they'll drive traffic to your listings and stuff like that. But it's kind of this mixed bag where you have to choose, like, would I today it's a lot better if somebody buys it from my website, but obviously traffic. And so like Amazon's algorithm will help you out and you can do ads based on similar titles and stuff. So we're taking a two-pronged approach, but right now we're looking for influencers that will plug our book for free.
Okay, she will.
Because I don't have the affiliate, I don't have the affiliate section of ClickFunnels, because that's like $300 a month instead of $100 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people who believe in the project because they love the
so
project.
just definitely like an organic approach right now, just to get some cash in the door, and then you can sort of like fund all this other stuff. I mean, that's how everything goes, right? Are you able to adjust the price a little bit, like from your website to what you list it for on Amazon or any of these other retailers?
I'm going basically at retail price right now, but I'm adding bonuses. So like when they did the pre-order, they got the ebook as well and stuff like that. And then we're doing kind of just special stuff for like they might be signed like at this point. So we're doing those type things of how can we add value without discounting. And then obviously when you make book one, there's the, like in the next month, we're going to be working on getting book two together.
Make it a
they
series.
Need, especially with the way we didn't end it on a cliffhanger, like safety wise. Like they're completely safe, all of that. But we did really like make it very clear this is the opening of a story. And so it's not a cliffhanger in the sense of like, are the kids gonna die? But it's they're like everybody's like, okay, when's book two happening? When's book two? And like these guys are the craziest of all going, where's book two? Where's book two? And you're like, goodness gracious. So there's the pressure to get book two out because that makes your readers happy. And so that's kind of where we're working now, is finding organic influencers who just believe in the concept, believe in the process. And then if we get enough sales, then we can set up like affiliate deals and things. But part of the problem is we're doing print on demand. So it's awesome because you don't have to buy the book until like literally somebody buys it. So you don't have a bunch of upfront money, but it's also like 3 times as expensive as an offset print run. So my margins are not really conducive to getting affiliate marketers and that type thing and offering them something of like actual financial compensation, because I'm still paying so much for my book. So it's this awkward thing and trying to figure it out.
I think that's how it is with almost, any idea or business you start, and you try to grow something organically, and it takes like a lot of legwork and traction and, like all of this, like getting the choo-choo train up the hill, right? And you're like really, really, really slow, but then you kind of crest, right? And you'll start getting that, that influence, and you'll start getting that, attention towards the book. I mean, there's the potential, especially not just in our group, but like, just in the homeschool community as a whole, and even the entrepreneur community. And then you've got private schools that would pick this up, and on all that kind of stuff. So you have the potential of getting this in a lot of hands once people sort of find out about it and everything. So it's just a matter of like, getting that choo-choo train up. Then you can.
Well, one of the things that's great is there is a proven market for it. A lot of the values that we espouse in our book, the Tuttle twins, if you're familiar with that series, like they've sold 3 million copies and have a rabid fan base, even though the actual stories are kind of like not that beautiful. They're like, not that beautiful. So because it was written by like a guy and illustrated by a guy, and like, you know, they've got great values, great lessons, whatever, but they're just not star literature. And so I was like, look, if they can sell 3 million copies because parents want to be proud of themselves for putting good stuff in front of their kids, there's a proven market.
Right.
And I have the ability to go, okay, who is anybody that's endorsed Tuttle Twins? And let me talk to them. And honestly, like Tuttle Twins themselves has been super nice. They sent me a set of their book, both the TV show and the traditional original series. I got a set of those like for a prize pack for like a book giveaway I was doing to build my list. So they're not they're Mormon, obviously, but they're just very kind, and they're helpful, and they're like, sure, well, we think it's great what you're doing. We'll send you some books so you can build your list and market to your people. And they're very kind people. So it's not even truly like a competitive relationship. It's like, yeah, if they're going to read this, they're going to read this.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not a one, you know, this, it's a mindset thing too, of knowing that in business, you know, there is abundance, right? We're not like, it's not, you know, we're not competing, you know, with each other, or just because I have, you know, a business and you have a business, we're not in competition. You know, there's more than enough to go around for everybody. And then when you're talking about something like a product, like a book, I mean, I own thousands, and I probably own several thousand books, you know? So like,
it takes 3 months minimum to produce a book and 3 hours to read it. We will never catch up to the demand.
Right.
Especially with some of those voracious readers. They're like, okay, done. Now where's my next one? You're like,
that would be my daughter-in-law. Yeah, she's like that. Jennifer, can you tell me the title of it again, please? So I can.
It's called The Wonderful Wandering Wagon.
Thank you.
We love alliteration.
Perfect. Actually, I do have her handle.
Okay.
It is capital B for Book Chick 2020.
Nice.
And how can I get one of those for her to read? Can I buy one from you? Where do I go to buy it so she can read it?
I'll put the link in the chat. So
perfect.
Okay, well, Nicole, I guess we'll move on to you and your business, and you can give us your introduction and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
you've been really active in our group since we started. So
just because I talk too much.
That's not a bad thing.
Oh, well, okay. So first of all, I just want to let you guys know, I'm kind of like your aunt or your older sister or something like that. My name is Nicole Shipp, and I am in Indiana. We actually are living in Indianapolis right now. I did homeschool our son from birth until, well, all the way through high school. And he wound up taking dual credit classes starting when he was about 16. And got his what they call an A&P, so he can fix airplanes. And as he went through that, he said, you know, Mom, this is fun, but I think I want to go to Purdue. There's this other thing that I want. And I was like, okay, cool. So he graduated from Purdue, and he's an engineer here in town and makes parts for our submarines. So there you go. But in all of that, when we were homeschooling, that's when I fell in love with one-on-one time with a kid, because he wasn't an only child, because I have an older stepdaughter, but she was like 12 years older. So it was kind of like that. We did not homeschool her. Anyway, and with that, that's where I fell in love with kids. And since he has been able to be out on his own, I have helped other families who are homeschooling. I have also developed a tutoring business, and my specialty is multisensory tutoring for dyslexics. And I am also getting certified for the multisensory for math, for kids who are really struggling with math. So I've been doing it for, I don't know, gosh, maybe 10 years, something like that. And it's just incredibly rewarding. And at this point in our lives, my husband just left his main job that he was doing while we were raising all our kids and all of that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to develop income streams for our retirement through my two businesses. So my first business that probably applies to you guys the most is the tutoring and how to help you with resources and things like that if you have a struggling reader or somebody struggling with math. And that business is Salt and Light Tutoring. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. The other one I've had for 32 years, and I am a beauty consultant or a skincare tutor is what I call myself because I'm so big into the tutoring thing now. And yeah, so that's just one that I've been in love with because I found when I was homeschooling and home with the kids, I felt a lot better and did better mentally because I came from working full-time to being home full-time. If I just went ahead and, took care of myself just a little bit, I didn't always put on makeup or anything, but, just feeling like I put myself together a little bit before we hit into the rest of the day and that kind of a thing. So those are my two things and what I'm about and the things that I do. And I am just thrilled to be included and to encourage you guys in what you're doing with your homeschooling. I believe in it more than I can really express. And there's a part of me that wishes I could homeschool every kid I meet. So yeah, that's me. And thanks for listening.
Well, great to meet you. We're so happy that you're here. And we're happy that you joined us, even though you're not currently homeschooling, because this definitely, like you've been, like you said, the aunt, right? Or that older sister that's come into that group and says, I've walked this road, and I miss those days. And, and you've been supportive of like different women in the group that are, walking this journey and stuff. So we really, really appreciate you being here and are glad you're here.
Do you do online tutoring or?
I have. And one of the things that I'm finding is because it's multisensory, often we would want to have the parent involved too, so they can sort of help guide. And I've got a couple of clients who are homeschooling and we meet and I sort of do the lesson and guide them with what to do over the next few days until we meet again. And so I kind of walk them through that. I think that's very helpful because then you kind of learn to do what I'm doing, but you didn't go to all of the school and all of that kind of thing.
Is it Orton Gillingham based?
Yes. Everything I do is OG.
Is it Barton stuff or something?
I am actually I am certified in the technique of Orton Gillingham for the multisensory. And so I
cannot Barton. I'm like,
I am not that familiar with Barton. I haven't been exposed. And that's something that's come up to me since I've been talking with lots of other people. I need to get up to date on. I need to check it out so that I understand what that is.
You need to be aware of it, but I had a really hard time processing it and trying to figure it out. So I if it's Orton Gillingham, then I'm like, okay, cool. This is
and you're not the only person I've talked to that way. And in fact, one of my other clients, she just was so frustrated because she wasn't really sure what to do. And math was her thing, not reading and English. And I said, well, what we need to do is just, let me walk you through what we do. And I sent her some materials and things like that so that she's got something she can work with. And then when we meet again, we talk about how it went and I show her maybe the next part of it. Not that I'm trying to train you to do what I do, but just to help you be able to do it
Right. I don't want to
That's
dominate
so
the
awesome.
conversation, but we should definitely talk.
DM me and we'll put it together.
Yeah, I've got an appointment with Nicole because I have a daughter that is struggling with well, she struggles with reading and with math, and it's not so much the concepts of it, it's more of like when she looks at things. And I've never had her tested. She's been homeschooled since day one. I've never
Right.
had her tested for anything, and I've always just been very like gentle with her and encouraging, like, you can do it, come on, you can read and stuff. And I think too, she's more of she has a much more quiet and soft personality compared to my son, who was just an early reader and very like overachieving and all this other stuff. So I didn't want her to like compare herself to him. And I
Right.
think that initially when she started school, she did, well, Bubba was reading and I'm not. And so it became that thing. And I thought a little bit of it was the confidence issue. But now that she's 11, I'm like, that's 2, that's not a 6, you know? And so we're starting to, you're on mute, so I could.
And one of the things I'm learning in this math class is how to go back and work on those kinds of things for her to see, see what what we would call the graphing, which is the picture that to us means 2.
Right.
Right. And so, yeah, there's a lot of tactile things and things we can do with that.
So we're talking. We have an appointment tomorrow, and I am on that.
Yeah.
Because
And it's just my passion to help people who are homeschooling and to know where to go, because a lot of people are like, okay, if you're in the public school, well, you have all this support there.
these resources,
But in my area, most of the school systems do not have anybody trained in the Orton-Gillingham. So they're just showing up with, they're not addressing all 3 pathways to get that. Yeah.
Super cool stuff. We're happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is very beneficial to our group. Okay, Alyssa, your turn. Tell us where you are and about your homeschool journey and your business.
Yeah, I guess I'm a watercolor artist, but I didn't really start there. Our stuff sounded a lot like like my husband and my story sounded a lot like Jennifer, just with like a lot of like different generations of entrepreneurialism. And both of our parents have run home businesses and family businesses growing up, and I helped my parents start one right before I got married, and he worked in a family business, and then he actually recently just switched jobs to have a better like work-life balance there. But yeah, my plan when we first got married was to be a graphic designer and to work with people in the local community and what have you. And then we got home from our honeymoon, and we both found out I have epilepsy, so I haven't been able to drive for the last like almost 9 years. So that changed my plans. And so I was working as a graphic designer for a bit, and then switched over and was doing more like in between we did an art business, and we did like photo transferring, where you put the stuff like on the wood plaques, and then we went and sold that for a couple of years, and that was fun. Well, we all fit in his pickup truck, but now we have 4 kids, so we don't all fit anymore. And that was the downside. And then I switched to photo editing for people like through Etsy, and now I'm doing the watercolor art, and I have 7, 5, and 4, and almost 2-year-old. So we're in 2nd grade and kindergarten so far, in preschool. And so we're just trying to squeeze everything in. I'm doing print on demand, like you guys are, but a lot cheaper and easier if it's just a print rather than a whole book. And I've been doing that through Etsy and building up my own website and doing some wholesale with the fair website, but that haven't gotten too much through that. And some just through the local art community, but I haven't been able to actually get out there too much, obviously not being able to like just go out and drive to like network as much. So just trying to build up stuff online, and just really encourage my 2 oldest girls. And I just really want to encourage them that like with just building up the entrepreneurial spirit and just giving them opportunities too. Last year we took a whole week off school before our biggest like watercolor art show, and I paid them to like make gift tags and package stuff and help me out. So they earned money and they were so excited. It was like 6 whole
I love
dollars.
that.
But the idea is now, while they're young, is to be like building up a business that they can help me with too, and like ship stickers and ship cards. And they're so excited when they get to like run down and put something in the mailbox because we're mailing out a package of cards or whatever. So they're having fun with that. So right now it's just all like the super early stages of trying to build stuff up so that they can actually help me with stuff when they get bigger. And it's also, you can just see their little brains churning when they think like, oh boy, like I can work on the computer and make money, or I love to paint, I'm going to be a painter and I'm going to earn money.
Mhm.
It's just been so much fun to see that and just encourage them. And my husband's super entrepreneurial with just being a home contractor and being able to do pretty much anything, and he's encouraging the boys even with that. But I want to be able to just encourage the girls too, and just point out that there's so many things you can do from home, and even just disability doesn't just slow you down. You just, even if your
Absolutely.
world gets smaller and smaller, you just still make it beautiful and make it work. And just been trying to encourage them with that, so that's been fun.
That's awesome. There's so much learning that happens when they help you with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
So much that goes on with that. I know my husband was a chef, and we used to do private catering, and our kids started working with us when they were like, I mean, as soon as they could. And we always
Nice,
told
yeah.
them, if you work like an adult, we'll pay you like an adult. But if you
Yep.
work like a child, you're going to get paid like a child. And they developed a great work ethic from that, and they liked it. You know, it was very cool. And I love when people will do that with their children. So many people are like, oh, I can't work with my kid. And I'm like, but they will learn so much more if you do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, that's
know?
what homeschooling
Yeah.
is, just all day, every day. So they work with us, they play with us, they clean up with us,
Absolutely.
and that's just life. And it's been great so far.
Yeah. And it just becomes your lifestyle, you know, and,
Yeah,
and
it
you,
totally is.
yeah, and you just kind of click into when is that teaching moment, and you teach in
Yep.
that moment, you know, and yeah, I love that.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband started off rolling his eyes when I would make stuff into a teaching moment, but now he jumps into it. It's like, all right, learning is important because of this, and you should be able to learn how to do this, because when you get bigger, like you could be an excavator. So now that's why you have to learn how to work hard now and dig holes or whatever. Like,
Right.
which is funny. He's
Absolutely.
turning
It
it
just
all into
prepares them
homeschool
for
stuff.
so much more in the real world, kind of, you know, to understand how that's going to work. Good
Yeah.
for you. Good for
Yeah,
you
so that's
guys.
been fun. But yeah, most of the time I figure out like when to get it all actually, like when to have time for everything. Right now my kids get out of bed at like 8, but well, they're allowed to come out at 8, so I get up and paint for a while, but then they're still all little enough that they all take naps, so that's been convenient. Yeah, that's where they are now. Even if they're not sleeping, they're resting and they're reading and irritating each other, but they're resting quietly technically. So that's, I've been trying to get like an
Yeah.
hour and a half in the afternoon and like an hour and a half in the morning, but I'm not a morning person, so I'm trying to figure out when to squeeze
Me
everything
either.
together, because it takes
I
more
am not
time than I
oh,
have.
right. I am not a morning person. And when our son Blake got old enough, you know, I kind of thought, okay, well, I'll go back to work. Well, by the time that came, I was like, there's no way I am going to follow everybody else's work schedule. I'm
Yeah.
just not, you know, I don't want to, and I don't have to. So yeah, I totally get that. Totally get it.
I think that's one of the things I love and appreciate the most about homeschooling is having our own schedule, and that we're not on you know, everybody else's schedule, like not even like just the work week, but even seasonally, like we're not on everybody else's schedule. I always take our spring break like in April, and everybody takes theirs in March, but I'm like, it's still cold and rainy in March, who wants to spring break? So, and then
Yeah,
also
right,
like when
sure.
we take ours in April, it's like actually warmer and it's empty because like everybody already took theirs. So we do things like that. But like even with our day-to-day schedule, I'm not my husband's a morning person and he owns his own business, but he, you know, likes getting up in the morning and going and doing his thing. And me, I am a night person. Like I think better at night. Like I'm more focused at night. I feel more energetic at night. I get all my ideas at night, and the kids are asleep. Nobody's bothering me. So I just tend to work better at night. And I used to fight that, like when we first started homeschooling, my kids were like really little and everything. And I would think, oh, I need to be on this other schedule, right? And I was trying to do school at home instead of doing like homeschool, right? And it just wasn't working. And I would get like so down on myself because I just couldn't get it together. Like, why can't we start by X time? And, you know, this and this. And then I finally learned like that was not our rhythm, you know, and that we actually just did better. Like if we started late morning and sort of like and my son would get all his schoolwork done and everything. It wasn't even about that. It was just me thinking we had to be done by a certain time, and then me feeling bad about, staying up later and working on, even if I was just cleaning house, like I clean house better at night. Nobody's there to mess it up. So when they wake up, it's,
Yes.
I can't go to sleep with it dirty. So that's just me. But I feel better, and it makes me feel better instead of feeling like, well, it's 10 o'clock. I got to go to sleep because, everybody says I have to. So it took me a long time to learn that,
You got
that
to
rhythm and be
deprogram,
okay with
yeah.
that. Not
Got to deprogram yourself.
right. And not have
Yeah.
a schedule like everybody else, but we do have a
Mhm.
schedule. It's more of like a routine or a rhythm, right? Like
Mhm.
how you get up in
Yes,
the
that's what
morning
I
and
always tell
paint.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like we have this set schedule we go by. So, and there are things we do, like when we keep appointments or my kids are in, dance and soccer and stuff, like we obviously make those appointments and schedule, keep up with those schedules. But as far as like our day-to-day life, like that's not me. And I just like the thought of like clocking in somewhere or something.
Oh my
like that,
gosh.
like somebody
Right.
shoot me, or even like having to get my kids up for school, like and put them on a bus or take them to school at a certain time and pick them up
Yeah,
and be in
way
line
too
with all
early.
the other parents. I'm like, oh God, I'm so thankful we don't have to do any of that mess.
Right.
So,
Blake's friends were convinced that Blake only did school like an hour a day because he was done by the time he wasn't up when they had to get up for school.
yeah,
And then he was done before they ever got off the bus.
right.
And so they were like, can you homeschool us? And I was like, yeah, no.
So Alyssa, does your husband work for himself still now, or is he?
Yeah, no, he used to work for a family construction business, and now he actually works just for a home builder. And even like it used to be before, it would be crazy hours, like at least 12 hours a day. It was exhausting. Like as we had kids, they all stayed up later. They'd all stay up till 9 or 10. They'd all go so our whole life just kind of revolved around his work schedule. But this last year, he actually took a job where it's actually reasonable, like 7 to 3:30 or 4ish or whatever. So that's been like a huge change for us. But
Yeah.
I don't see, the problem is though, which is not a problem because I love it, is that he always wants to spend time in the evening. So it's like I've never we've gone to bed at the same time every single day of our marriage basically, and it's never like, oh, I'm going to stay up for an hour or two and like work on my website. It's always like, nope, we're going to go to bed, we're going to hang out, we're going to have a snack. And like, I mean, he'll fall asleep, but with like there were always hours and months and years that I was nursing babies and awake for hours after him. But that's not when I'm getting work done. That's when I'm just in bed next to him, obviously. So that's where I'm having the hardest time, is trying to squeeze in when to actually work.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's something that, you'll just have to sort of feel out for yourself. Me and my husband don't go to bed at the same time at all. If we did, neither one of us would be happy people, I don't think, because he would like to go to bed early. And I'm like ready to talk, like, oh, if we're going to go to bed, let's talk. And he's like,
Yeah, stop it.
I'm like, how about you go to bed? I'm going to go to work. And it just works out better that way. I mean, obviously we have 4 kids, so that hasn't been a problem, but anyways, that's just the way things are. So on your graphics, you do graphics design and you have a website.
Yeah, watercolor art now. I'm kind of
oh, you do
done
water.
with
Okay, so you're transitioning away.
Yeah, I've switched pretty thoroughly just because I like to be able to like kind of paint when I want and turn it into products and then do it, not go back and forth with people so much. Just because the other downside is I didn't realize we built our house while we were engaged, and then we were talking to the neighbors. They're like, oh, by the way, we don't have Wi-Fi here. We don't have any decent internet. So everything is like slow. Take 5 minutes to upload like one painting one time. So I can't really shoot back and forth with clients anymore. It's got to be just put my stuff on there and then hope I can get it sold. And that's worked, but.
So are you on Etsy or?
Yeah, I'm on Etsy and I have
Okay.
my own website, but it has like my best success has been on Etsy so far. And I'm trying to work on wholesaling to some extent, but I've been kind of limited with that because I don't necessarily want to buy a whole bunch of stuff ahead of time and then have it sell or not sell. I've done that a little bit and it's been okay. And I don't even mind the like not selling stuff as much as I mind just having like the cluttered product that I have like 6 of these left. I'm not going to sell them. They're just sitting around. So I'm just trying to
Totally
streamline,
understand
and
that.
also just my time. I'm trying to streamline it as much as possible. Like I'd rather lose some of my profit margin and just hear a ka-ching on my phone and just be like, okay, good. I don't have to deal with that, rather than, okay, I have to package this and I have to get it out in the mail and whatever. But I'm hoping to switch to that when the girls are older, like they're 7 and 5 now. If I have like 10 and 12 and they can package stuff for me and they know what's what, then I'll do that. But now it's kind of all on me and I can't really trust them with that.
So are you selling your prints online? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah,
Or you're
I have an
you're just
Etsy
trying to sell
shop. Yeah,
them
to do
locally?
watercolor. Yeah, then I sell through Printful, and yeah, sell different size prints. I sell starting to sell stickers. I sell cards, greeting cards that I print myself. Postcards that I get printed online. I've done some mugs, some like clothing a little bit, but I just like still playing around with seeing what works the best. And I've got
And are you using because you said you have a website and you're using Etsy. Do you have like like social media, or you're using like a Facebook page or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I'm starting, like, the problem is I've got everything, and then I sit down, it's like, okay, where do I even like start with all of this? Because you can throw a little bit at everything, and it's like, okay, I've got the Facebook page, okay, I've got the Instagram, okay, I've got the just, well, I'm totally blanking out on where else it is, but I mean, even like tried to, like, I've sold a few things through eBay, but like, is it really worth trying to update my store? Because it's like you make one product and you have to spread it out over 6 stores and like put it on the wholesale for fair, put it on my own shop, put it on Etsy, put it on, like, just share it with different things. I was putting stuff on eBay a little bit, or my Facebook shop, and it just like all spreads out and gets complicated and takes so long to just get one product out there.
Yeah. Where are you making the most sales then? Like what's sort of
It's
like,
Etsy, hands down. So I'm
okay.
definitely trying to build up my Etsy the most, but I've got like 3 or 4 products that the algorithm just like loves, and like I know they say like 20% of your products make 80% of your sales. That's totally what it is. So I'm trying to figure out how to like drum up the other 80%. And it works better now that Christmas is coming. Like people really like my Christmas cards and things for presents and stuff. But it's just a few prints that are like the big sellers. And I'm trying to kind of let everyone else ride their coattails type of deal.
What is your Etsy store name?
It's Art Reflects Light.
Yeah, so like even when we put the replay up, go ahead and drop those links down in the comment section, but also you ladies feel free to put those in the event under this Zoom, under the link. Go ahead and put those links up too, because then we can, the group will have access to that, so that they're like, oh, okay. Because we definitely want to promote you. You showed up and you gave us your time and talked about your business, and we're able to sort of share. So we want to give you that floor to share your links, and kind of all of you have links that you can share for people that watch this in the replay or any of that, or even each other, because like I'll forget to write stuff down. So
Right. I'm
Yeah.
worried about that. I have had a wonderful time with you guys. I am so sorry I have to go because I have to tutor. I gotta go. So it was a pleasure to meet all you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I look forward to just engaging with y'all again.
bye, Nicole.
Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
How about I get up there?
Alyssa, is that light or life?
Yeah, light, Light. Yeah,
I'm getting light reflectors.
Yeah, just Art, ART reflects light, LIGHT.
Yes. Ooh. You've got the duckies.
Yeah, you can customize it for how many kids you have. So yeah, I do like I painted watercolor, and then I can Photoshop stuff to like kind of change it up.
That's
And how many children did you say you had, Alyssa?
I have 4 right now. We're hoping for a few more, but I need to get my health back. So we'll
Your
see.
oldest is how old?
She's 7.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So we're very busy and hands-on homeschooling, but they all have a blast at it. And
Well,
they
man,
are so
you are a
encouraging.
busy lady. You definitely are a busy lady with four children under 7, and then you're doing, your art and stuff. So that's a lot. Yeah.
Have you thought of teaching classes online or?
I've played around with the idea. The funny thing is, like, I paint the opposite of like what anybody else shows. Like, I've watched so many tutorials and it's like, I wish I could do that, but I can't. It's like, I don't know. It's so much more meticulous. Like, people will say, okay, just put like a base and swish all your blue on, and then swish all your yellow on, and then put some like little brown dabs in, and you'll be done. But I go like inch by inch and like paint everything. So.
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
not a
I wish
bad
I
thing,
could.
being different from those around you. That's not about, some people would learn better that way, right?
That's true. Yeah. I'm gonna use my kids as subjects and just see if I can teach them, because they love any bit of painting time with mommy. So
Yeah. Well, and then I'll just finish with mine. So Jennifer knows me, and but I am a homeschool mom of 4. My oldest is 16. He's a senior this year. We started school with him, he was 4. And at the time
Yay,
he was
that's
an
what I'm
only
hoping for.
child.
that's
So
awesome.
so it was easy, right? And he was very academically inclined. Like, he started reading at an early age, and I did baby sign with him and taught him like the program Your Baby Can Read. And I had like all of these like doubts about it, but it literally taught him how to read. He was 18 months old when he started reading. So it was really great. That did not work with my second child. So I'm just gonna say every kid is different. He was just a different child. But so my oldest is 16. This is his senior year. I'm sort of sad, but I'm also not sad because he's not really leaving house. Like, we told him, like, you're not 18, you're not leaving the house. So it doesn't matter whether you graduate or not. But he's online with Liberty University. He's doing their dual credit program, and he just got his first official job. Like, he's worked all of his life, probably since he was about 12 years old, but with my husband and then with my uncle doing concrete construction and all these different things, and had a literal, like, he would get a paycheck and everything. But he just got hired on with our local grocery store. And so he's super, super, super excited about that. And so am I. And I have an 11-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And so we've had a child almost every 4 years, but we're done. And I did not have really great pregnancies. I love having a baby. Like, somebody would just give me a baby on my doorstep, I would totally take it. But
Same. I've told my husband that so many times.
yeah. And I always tease my husband when I'm pregnant, I'm like, can I just grow it in a jar? Like, I would take the best care of it. But it was just like, I have the most awful pregnancy. I have hyperemesis during my pregnancies. And so I'm literally vomiting from about 6 weeks all the way till the baby's born. Just sick off of everything, even water. Like, so it's really bad. And
yeah.
I tell people, if you've ever seen the movie Twilight, and you see when Bella was pregnant with the vampire child, that was me. Like, it's just eating you alive and you're dying. So that's how I feel. I hate being pregnant, but I love having children. So it was this, weird thing for me into my motherhood, because I loved everything about having a baby. I home birthed my babies. I breastfed my babies. I homeschool my children. Right. So I love being the mom. I just don't like being pregnant. I like when they're outside of my body. So we're done. All that to say, we're done having babies. And my husband is a self-employed. He's been self-employed since 2009. Our son was 2 at the time. And he left his job. He was a diesel technician at a dealership. And we felt like God had been calling him to start his own thing. And that's an amazing story in and of itself. But we ended up doing that. And so for the last 13 years, that's what he's done. And in fact, he's transitioned into some different industries. So doing heavy equipment and oil field equipment and things like that. We're out of Texas. We're based out of Texas. And so when the oil field boom kind of took a hit in 2020, and after the election cycle, and all of the oil fields sort of packed up and went back home to wherever they came from, it really left our area very like desolate, and there was not a whole lot of work here for us. So anyways, now he's working out of state. He's in Tennessee. He's doing the construction business up there, or the construction industry. He's still doing heavy equipment. So like all of like the bulldozers and excavators and, you know, all this stuff, he's still servicing those commercial trucks, that kind of thing. But he's doing that in the state of Tennessee, where we were located last year. And then we just, me and the kids kind of came back home. We've maintained our home in Texas. The funny thing is we bought the house when we got married and we're still here. So the house has grown with us over the last 20 years and probably will be handed down to our children, just because that's been our vision and our goal for our family all of this time, is to be able to hand something down to them, right? And through the process of my husband owning his own business, I became a serial entrepreneur because I was obviously involved with him in the business, but on the business side of it, like all of the administration, and then I started getting into the marketing
side.
and all of that kind of stuff. So I became this serial entrepreneur on that side, and I was able to grow our business, his business, I should say. I mean, it's ours, but it's him that works that industry. I was able to grow that business from pretty much, you know, startup to multiple six figures because of the skills and stuff that I was able to learn with marketing, getting his website ranked, and having his social media presence and all of his assets and everything like that. We started to attract different companies, larger companies,
Cool.
and get these contracts for like much, you know, wealthier and better off, you know, companies than just doing like mom and pop type stuff. So because of the marketing. So when I was able to do that for him, I thought, I can do this for other people. So I started working with some of the small business owners in our area, and then it sort of branched out from there and was able to do the same thing, just kind of like rinse and repeat, build them a very high performing website that meets all of this criteria, and then rank that site basically step by step. It's not rocket science, right? So like a lot of people will look at like SEO and how to like rank a site on Google as like, oh, it's like so expensive, or, you know, it's rocket science or the algorithms or whatever, but really it's just a step-by-step process. And it's a lot, but it is, but it isn't, right? So there's things that you need to do, but it's not complicated. It's not hard. It's very simple. So basically being able to do that for other businesses and other companies. And I built an agency out of that. Now I've transitioned to where I still service my clients that have me for website stuff or SEO things, but I've transitioned into coaching small businesses and how to do this for themselves. Basically how to look like $1 million without spending $1 million, right? You want to look like a large company or a big company or a company with the authority in your niche or your area, but not have to have that marketing spend. My passion is to help the small business owner. We started off as small business owners, and I know what it feels like to feel like you're the little guy. And how do you compete online with all these other people that have these huge marketing budgets and, you know, teams of people doing all these things, you know? So for me, it was trying to kind of level the playing field and give small business owners that unfair advantage and say, look, guys, it's really not hard. It's just these steps, you know? So I transitioned into coaching and started helping small business owners do that for themselves and sort of create that roadmap to see like where they are to where they want to be. And it kind of works for any business in any industry, especially service-based businesses. But because I'm in the online space with marketing, I'm able to kind of see everything from social media to all of the search engine stuff to everything. So that's where I'm at. That's what I do. And homeschool full time. So like I said, my son's at school with Liberty University. So he's online. I don't have to do too much there except for help him with a couple of papers here and there. But other than that, I homeschool my two middle ones. Basically, we use My Father's World and some various resources for math and science and stuff. but yeah, pretty much just full-time mom and full-time entrepreneur. And I'm operating like a single parent right now because my husband's out of state. But that's one of the reasons why I created this group, because like I said, you know, we're just a different breed. Homeschool moms in business are a different breed, and you'll have different ones telling you, you know, to lay the business down and just focus on family. You have homeschool groups tell you that stuff. And then you've got
Yeah.
the business people going, send your kids to school. You need to grow the
Yeah.
business because, you know, whatever. Right. So, and for a homeschool, like for us, that's not an option. You know, maybe for some people that might be, but for me, that was not an option. And I felt like most homeschool moms who are in business, it's usually because they are very passionate about what they do and their family. You know, so it's like to separate those things is really like trying to, you know, separate a piece of your body. It's part of who you are and what you do, right?
Or you literally do it for your family.
Right.
You're
You literally
"I'm
do it
writing
for
this
your
book
family."
for my kids. So
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, it's after 3. We've gone over a little over an hour, and this was a great networking. So everybody kind of got a lot of time here because we didn't have, you know, as many people on, but it was so good to meet with you guys. We want to give everybody this opportunity every week, whether it's the same ones that want to come in and there'll be new ones to introduce yourself to, or, you know, all new people. And then we're also going to be putting some other stuff together. I know we're starting an expert series. Jennifer and I are working on a summit for later this fall. And then I think there's been some talk in the group of a midnight hangout. So we might visit that. So thank you for joining us, Alyssa, and Nicole left, but thank y'all for coming and being a part of this and helping our, you know, grow our community. If you know of any other homeschoolers that are thinking of starting a business or are in business and they're thinking of homeschooling, right? Then we would encourage you to invite them to come into this group and get that support for either thing, right? We're not a group of a bunch of perfectionists. You know, we don't all have everything together. Some of us struggle with homeschooling sometimes, and other of us are struggling with business sometimes, and sometimes that switches, right? I know for me it does. Like, there's times where I'm more focused on the business and then the kids, and times it's more the kids than the business, but that's just who we are. So we definitely want to build that community of support for other homeschooling moms in business, because basically we are the future. We're raising the future, and, you know, our kids are gonna, you know, like I know, you know, having conversations today, you know, our children are growing up into this entrepreneurial spirit, right? And they're sort of like going to run the world. And that's exciting for us, right? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world is the saying. And it's definitely true with homeschooling moms, you know. So thank y'all for being here, and thanks for giving us your time. And I'm definitely leave your links, not only in the chat, but in the group. And we'll see you guys next week.
yeah, cool. We'll see you around.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks.
Uh-huh.